Poor Liz Cheney. Things just keep getting worse and worse for the now disgraced Congresswoman. We're going to take a look at the desperation surrounding the upcoming J6 report. We're going to see how her own staffers are turning against her. And make sure to stick with the very end of this video when I'll reveal why the end of the days of Liz Cheney signify the end of rhino neocons themselves. You're not going to want to miss this. A number of leaks are coming out of the J6 committee revealing the frauds that both the committee and Liz Cheney really are. The Washington Post is reporting that a number of J6 committee staffers are openly criticizing the outgoing Congresswoman and exploiting the committee as a stepping stone to further her own personal aspirations. One staffer complained, quote, "We all came from prestigious jobs, dropping what we were doing because we were told this would be an important fact-finding investigation that would inform the public." But when the committee became a Cheney 2024 campaign, many of us became discouraged. Well, what do you know? And then keep in mind, this is coming from the Washington Post. The Post seems to already be preemptively railing against Cheney to squelch any possibility of her stealing any thunder from Democrat candidates. Regardless, according to the Post, 15 former and current J6 staffers stepped forward and expressed their concerns that the final report from the Kangaroo Committee, which is supposed to be released just before Christmas, is focusing almost entirely on President Trump rather than the actual facts of what happened on that day. In other words, these obviously young, idealistic staffers are concerned that the J6 committee has turned into nothing more than an anti-Trump partisan witch hunt, which of course it has, and has been from the moment of its inception. And as a result, these 15 staffers feel like all the research work that they put into this project is being ignored or even entirely omitted from the final report. Apparently, they were interested in what actually happened on J6, while Cheney and her ilk on the committee were interested only in political retribution. Now, unfortunately, the concerns expressed by these staffers that Cheney sees the committee as nothing more selfishly, right, than a mechanism to try to tear down Trump, all the while elevating herself politically. Those concerns are being realized with the leaks about the report. We now know what the report is going to look like. And let's just say, Liz, don't come out looking too good on it. You're going to absolutely love it. But first, click on that link below and protect yourself from all of this economic insanity with the timeless value of gold and silver. As you know, patriots over the centuries have always relied on gold and silver to protect their assets during economic storms. And that is where the amazing patriots over at Goldco come in. If you've got $50,000 or more in an IRA, 401k, or savings account, you need to protect those assets from bumbling Biden's insanity with the timeless value of gold and silver. Click on that link below. Talk to our good friends over at Goldco. They are patriots just like you and me, and they want you to succeed so much that they're offering you up to $10,000 in free silver. You heard that right, 10 grand in free silver if you open up an account with them. But that is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Click on that link below or visit my special website, turleytalkslikesgold.com. It's now been confirmed that the J6 committee report is nothing but one big, massive nothing burger, a pathetic attempt at a political hit job against President Trump. Literally nothing more. Politico is reporting that each and every chapter entailed in the report, 8 chapters in all, are all centered on Trump. Chapter 1 is Trump's effort to sow distrust in our nation's election. Oh, how dare he? Chapter 2 is Trump's pressure on state officials to overturn the election results. Chapter 3, Trump campaign efforts to send pro-Trump delegates to D.C. Blah, blah, blah. You get the pattern here. What all of this has anything, how any of this has anything to do with J6 is anyone's guess. The only real chapters that deal with J6 are chapters 7 and 8. And keep in mind, that's out of a total of 8 chapters. And they basically lie in the 7th chapter. The Federalist is reporting that the committee is accusing Trump of a 187-minute delay in his call for calm and peace. In other words, according to the Kangaroo Committee, and bear in mind, they began with Trump's guilt already in mind from their inception. According to the committee's report, Trump refused to act for 187 minutes after the riot began, which violates his oath to protect and defend the Constitution. My gosh. This is what they're peddling. But as Julie Kelly, senior writer for American Greatness, has pointed out, a detailed timeline published by the New York Times, no less, stamped the first break-in the Capitol at 2:15 p.m., followed by Trump's first tweet addressing the upheaval at 2:38 p.m., tweeting out, quote, "Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful." Now, this was corroborated by a C-SPAN timeline that actually put the rioters crossing Statuary Hall at 2:33 p.m. with Trump's first tweet again at 2:38 p.m. So Trump acted either within 23 minutes, according to the New York Times timeline, or actually within 5 minutes, according to C-SPAN's timeline. So where precisely is Liz Cheney getting this 187-minute delay bullshit from? And just to underscore, both C-SPAN and New York Times corroborate that Trump tweeted again about a half hour later after his first tweet. I mean, this explains everything. If you think about it, the committee is literally fabricating evidence. Because as a thorough FBI investigation had already concluded, there was simply no hard evidence whatsoever that the riot on January 6th was a result of an organized plot to overturn the presidential election. There was no insurrection. There was no coup. And these left-wing activists disguised as committee members, as well as lamestream media journalists, know it. Now, of course, with all of this, these efforts at undermining President Trump duly noted, when all is said and done, it's all for naught. Liz Cheney is by definition AstroTurf. She literally has no grassroots supports at all. She's entirely the creation of a donor class, the legacy media that's intimately connected to the donor class as well. As you all know, back in August, Cheney was humiliated in the Wyoming primaries. Wyoming voters came out in droves. It was one of the highest turnouts in the primary ever recorded in Wyoming. They came out in record numbers, not to just merely defeat Liz Cheney. That wouldn't be enough. Just barely defeating Cheney would hardly be appropriate response to her year and a half of dismissive arrogance that derided the concerns of her constituents, her year and a half of self-righteous and incessant virtue signaling where she and Nancy Pelosi literally morphed into the same person. All of that meant that the voters of Wyoming had to come out in August to not merely defeat Liz Cheney, but to utterly and completely humiliate her. And that's what they did. She lost her primary by 40 points to Harriet Hageman, who, of course, went on to win the general election easily. It was nothing less than a political stomping. Cheney was crushed. She was pulverized. She was utterly eviscerated. And it is therefore no wonder why so many Democrats, and oddly, frankly, so many neocon Republicans who are part of the donor class, want Cheney to run for president. They want her to run because they see her as an incessant thorn in the side of Trump. She's not, by the way, but she provides the occasion for the legacy media that basically prints whatever the donor class wants them to print. I know that firsthand. To publish unflattering news stories about Trump's lack of support from within Republican circles. Again, the audacious dementia involved in that, conveniently forgetting that Liz Cheney, the daughter of a former vice president, was utterly humiliated within her own party's primary in order, the claim, I mean, how anyone could think that she could point out that somebody else is politically unpopular is beyond any semblance of credulity. I think it's insane. I think the J6 committee, for all of tens of millions of Americans, in the end, has only evidenced its own guilt. The days of Liz Cheney are mercifully coming to end, and with it, eventually, the end of the rhino-led Republican Party is not far behind. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button, and you will definitely want to check out my latest video on 3 new federal investigations opening up in Elon Musk. Yes, the empire is trying to strike back, but it's not going to work. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.